Hey, how are you? Hey, how are you? Hey, how are you? For those of you that don't know, I happen to own a mortgage company, and I'm going to tell you some secrets. And I might get in trouble. I might get in trouble for them. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? Listen on if you want to know more. I'm going to talk through interest rates, shopping. I'm going to talk about trust, like, respect, a personal brand, and ultimately a range of interest rates that I think you need to understand how this whole thing works. You see, I'm a big believer that I'll give you my playbook and I'll still beat you fucking with it. I've said it before, I'll say it again. It's the truth. And it's not a cocky concept. It is just simply because there is so much abundance out in life. There's so much abundance out in our industry. We got 15 guys now. Pastor Rob, isn't that crazy? 15 guys in our office, right outside of this office, honestly. And it's humbling, it's awesome, it's incredible. But it's because we have a solid set of core values. We have a culture that is second to none. We sell a product that is better than everybody else's. And ultimately, we have some really, really good leaders. We have Scott Kamar as our CEO. We have Connor Cozen as our CFO. We have Casey Fleming as our CRO, which is Chief Risk Officer. It's been awesome. And I happen to add into the bunch. But super proud of our guys. I love our guys very much. And we're kicking everyone's ass while everyone is just kind of waiting on the sideline, sitting on the bench and realizing and understanding that ultimately I should be in the game, but I don't know. I'm kind of scared. I don't know if I want to do anything. I don't want to really tip my toe in the water, so to speak. They're just sitting on the sideline waiting for rates to get better. We're growing. We're expanding. We are pushing forward with everything we possibly have, not only financially, but physically, mentally, emotionally, and we're going to get very far from it. You'll see our name and our logo. We're going to be in a position where we're going to be a name brand. And I don't know what day it is. What's the day, Pastor Rob? 4/13. We're about to run Pat's Run in just a couple days. You heard it here first. So a year from now, 2 years from now, when we are the authority inside of the mortgage space and the broker world, just remember, you heard it here first. All right, let's talk about rates. First things first, you got to understand something. I don't care if you've had a mortgage before, this is your first time buying, so on and so forth. You have to understand, I have come from, in 10 years of being in the mortgage industry, most of my time was in the retail space, meaning a bank or a direct lender. And I will tell you right now that brokers are better. Shout out to my brokers out there. Brokers are better. I don't care who you're partnered with, what team you're with, who your lender is. It could be Rocket, UWM, Home Point, which I think just collapsed. It doesn't matter who. Fairway, independent mortgages, all kinds of people. Brokers are better. We get wholesale interest rates. What does that mean for you? Typically, a broker is somewhere between 0.5% to a full % in interest rate better than a retail bank or a non-depository or a depository. What does that mean? Your retails are going to be Rocket Mortgage Retail or Loan Depot or Fairway Independent Retail or there's all kinds of them. Your non-depository, same exact thing. Your depository, you're talking about Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Chase, U.S. Bank. Those are those folks. All of those folks have so much overhead and so many things that they have to worry about, checking, savings, stock price, all this other shit, that their interest rates are about a full % higher than your local mortgage broker like Kinfolk Home Loans and so many others. So there's that. Now, I might get in trouble for that. People are going to be pissed off because it's going to affect their bottom line. And I really don't give a fuck because it's the truth. And the truth needs to come out. I've been in that world for 8 years. I made a decision to step out on our own. Now we have wholesale interest rates where rates are a hell of a lot better. We get direct-to-consumer pricing, exact numbers with no overhead that we can pass the savings on to you as a client. That's what you have to understand. The difference between retail and wholesale is that retail has margin included inside of that interest rate because they have so much overhead. Wholesale is direct to you. The lender pays us. You don't pay us unless we go borrower paid. It's a whole different story. Talk to your local mortgage broker or call me at 855-227-2700. You can call me anytime. Or 480-544-6080. That's my cell phone. I don't care if you're in the industry, if you're a real estate agent, or you're looking for a mortgage and want to refi, you can call me. Shameless plug, Pastor Rob. Don't really care. I just gave people my cell phone fucking number. So might get in trouble for that. But that's how interest rates work, okay? Now, when you're shopping interest rates, let me give you some advice. and hopefully our mortgage pros that listen to this will appreciate this. If you want to shop mortgage rates, the best way to do it is to go to your local broker, because guess what? They shop different mortgage companies for you. They do the shopping for you, and that's how that whole thing works. Now, let me digress just real quick. For those of you brokers out there, or brokerages, or companies that, let's just say broker owners or mortgage brokers in general. For those of you that have 10, 15 different lenders, and I'm going to shop your rate against everybody else and see what's the best for you, you're wasting your fucking time, man. Like, for the brokers and broker owners, you're wasting your time by using Blue Digital or whatever it's called, or Arrive or Lending Pad, and having all these different lenders because it's a $300,000 loan as opposed to $700,000 loan. And I'm going to save my... Dude, it's all the same shit. There's two main players. We know who the main players are. Fucking pick one and ride with them, just like Kinfolk Home Loans is, and you won't have to worry about this shit. There is a reason why billionaires don't worry about or think about what they're wearing. They just fucking wear it. Mark Zuckerberg, he wears a blue shirt and tan pants. Steve Jobs wears a fucking turtleneck and jeans. Bill Gates, he wears a fucking sweater. All of these people wear these things because they don't have to think about it. They just go do it. It's the same thing in the mortgage brokerage world. You don't need to shop your client's situation with 15 different lenders, because the reality is, if you have one great trusted lender and partner, and you love them and you understand them and you believe in them, and vice versa, and it's a great partnership, then you just fucking use them and you make it simple. So I'm sorry to go off on a tangent, but all of you that are sitting there, I chop my loans with 15 different lenders. You're wasting your fucking time. And for the clients that are listening to that thinking it's a good idea, it's not. It's boring, it's monotonous, and honestly, it's kind of shitty, because the lender that might be the cheapest might be the worst. The lender that might be the cheapest, that might save you 1/10 of an interest rate or whatever it is, or $1,000 in costs, probably is going to take you about 65 days to close the fucking loan, as opposed to just going with your normal person, having a great process, and ultimately closing that loan with inside of 10 to 12 days, which is what we do here at Kinfolk Home Loans. Sorry to go off on a tangent, but that shit pisses me off. I'm so sick and tired of brokers and brokerages talking about that. Shopping alone. Consumers, if you're shopping, okay, you don't gather a bunch of loan estimates and see what happens. I don't know what happened. I'm going to grab a bunch of loan estimates. I'm going to put it into my Excel file and see what... It's not what you do, okay? Let me tell you what you do. Let me just give a word to the wise. Here's a word to the wise. That's going to be a good fucking reel right there. That's going to be a good fucking short, by the way. I hope this makes it too. You take lender A and lender B, and you fucking make them compete for your business. That's what you do. I would love for a client to say, hey, I have a loan estimate. This is mortgage shit. I have a loan estimate from XYZ company. Can you beat it? And you send it to me, and I see if I can beat it. And you know what I'll do? If I can't, I'll tell you to go with them. That's how you know we're a good company. We're here to give you honest and candid advice. Even if you do a loan with me or not, my goal and my vision is that you leave me a candid and a honest 5-star Google review. That's our whole goal. That at the end of the phone call, you leave that phone call saying, that's the best goddamn loan officer I've ever talked to in my entire life. That's the end of the call. Again, whether you do a loan with us or not, but I hope that a client would send that loan estimate over to me. I would either match or beat it based off of just normal pricing, not undercutting. See, that's the problem too, is that we have so many people beating their fists on the table saying, yeah, everyone's buying triggers and they're beating my loan and I have it in process. I need to feed my family. Well, maybe you should have better fucking pricing. Because here at our organization, again, I'm on a rant right now, man. This is good. At our organization, we go lender paid. What does that mean? We've negotiated with a lender on exactly how much our commission is, and it yields within inside of that interest rate, and we're kicking everyone's ass. We are not discounting. We are not undercutting. We are simply presenting our best foot forward at the beginning, at the front portion. You aren't. You're not. You're having a bunch of margin so you can eat and have fat pockets, or your company is, and that's your fault, not my fault. So when I call your client and say, hey, I think I can, based off your conversation and based off the information that I see in front of me, I think I can actually save you about a full % on your interest rate. Give me 60 seconds. hear me out. And if I can, great. Let's at least keep them honest. That's it. It's a win-win situation for you. And the client says, yes, that's not my fault for putting our best foot forward. It's your fault for not. It's your fault for not putting your best foot forward. So just remember that. Now, again, back to shopping. Take lender A, take lender B, have them fight for your business. And I promise you, may the best man or woman win. There's things aside from rate and cost that I do want to talk about. One is the essence of and the thought process behind the trust, like, and respect, or TLR. Your clients need to have 2 out of the 3. As a mortgage broker, I'm going from consumers to brokers to broker owners. Hopefully you listen. As a consumer, you need to trust, you need to respect, and you need to like your loan officer, your mortgage banker, your mortgage broker. For a loan officer or a mortgage broker or banker, you need to earn their trust, like, and respect. And I'll tell you that you need 2 out of the 3 to earn the deal. You need 2 out of 3 to seal that deal, okay? So you need to earn their trust by telling them you're going to do things and then delivering upon those things. You need to earn, which is the most important, you need to earn their respect by telling them who you are and why they should continue to give you their attention, because attention is the number one thing we can have from a client. And you need to earn the right for them to like you, and I would say even love you as their mortgage broker. And if you think to yourself, again, I want this client to leave this conversation saying, damn, that was the best conversation I've ever had with any sort of financial person ever in my entire life, specifically loan officers, number one. And then number 2, I love that person, and I want that person to be my mortgage guy or gal for the rest of my life. I'm going to write their name on a little sticky note, and I'm going to put that bitch, bam, right on the side of the fridge. That's what you want on every single phone call. So trust, like, and respect. How do you do those things? How do you earn their trust? How do you earn their likability or love? And how do you earn their respect? In my opinion, it's a personal brand. Days of the old Rob Dog, Pastor Rob, you can go in someone's office, sit down, see all their accolades and their awards and how beautiful things are. It ain't like that no more. Most business is done over the telephone, over email, over text messages, and ultimately maybe even over a little bit of Skype or FaceTime. The reality of the situation is your client can't see you, doesn't know how good you are, doesn't know the accolades you have, or how many clients that you've serviced or wowed unless you tell them. You have to tell them. You have to tell your client, hey, Rob, I appreciate you taking the phone call today. I really do. Just so you're aware, I've been in the industry a decade. I've closed, somewhere between 12 and 1,300 mortgages over that time frame. I've seen every single situation there is. Yours won't be any different. And I promise you, I'm going to be very direct, but also respectful of your situation, okay? I also promise you that I'm going to give you the best deal on the marketplace. You heard it here first. I'm going to be your mortgage guy for life after this conversation. That's a personal brand. That's called free game. Do we charge anything for this podcast?
Nope.
You know how much money I just made fucking people right there?
Enough.
It pisses me off because if you did that, and I don't know, what is this, 14 minutes in? You did that, how much, am I close? 1340. I'm fucking good, right? It's a timer in my mind. This is dead. It's my Tag Heuer that my girlfriend got me, by the way. It's a $4,000 Tag Heuer smartwatch. It's fucking dead because it just died. This is just a guess. I just made you so much money if you do that every single phone call, Mortgage Pros, but you won't do it because you're too set up in your own ways. That's okay. I'll take the money from you. Lastly, the last thing I'll say about mortgages, because I do have to end here soon. So I got to go. I got shit to do. Okay, there's a hair right here. I don't know whose hair this is. Range of interest rates. So many clients and so many bankers only think that there's one interest rate according to their profile and their situation. So many brokers, bankers, and so on as loan officers, all of you only present one loan option that encompasses all of their situation because you think it's the best fit for them. I promise you, delivering the power of choice is so important. In any given situation, your client or a client, if you are a client watching, is going to range from, for example, right now, 4.875 to 7.5%. It's a big fucking range on a 30-year fixed rate mortgage. What you have to know is the lower you go on that scale on interest rate, the more expensive the loan is, and then vice versa. So for example, if it's a 4.875, you're going to pay through the nose from a closing cost perspective to get to that position. You're going to pay in points. You're going to pay in origination. That is what's going to happen. You're paying upfront the cost and the interest that you're going to save over the life of the loan. And then vice versa. You can get a 7.5 for fucking free if you want it for free. Here's what I think of. Here's an analogy for you. When you go to a sporting event, where do you like to sit? And this will tell you a lot about who you are as a consumer and also who you are as a salesperson. Where do you like to sit? Do you like to sit up front on the 50-yard line? First row? You probably are going to gravitate towards something that's a little bit more expensive, like the 4.875, because Lord knows how much are those tickets? $1,000 a piece? You love that shit. You're in for the experience and you don't care how much it costs. Again, remember, in a refinance specifically, it's equity, so it's funny money. It's not real money. In a purchase, you got to pay for that shit, and it's actually out of pocket. Or are you somebody that just wants to go to the game and just wants to be there for the experience? Maybe the beers, maybe the popcorn, maybe the hot dog, and you want to just sit, but you're okay sitting way up in the nosebleeds for $47, right? That would be more along the lines of the 7.5. I always say this too. 7.5 is cool. It's free, but it's like going to the prom with the ugly girl. Nobody wants to go to the prom with the ugly girl. It's just the truth. You still went, but you went with the ugly girl and everyone remembers it. Or you can spend a little bit more money, take the prom date on a nicer date, maybe a better corsage, maybe rent a Hummer limousine, and you take the 10 out of 10. And again, I might be hated for this. I don't really care. It's just the truth. So there's a range of rates that everybody qualifies for. You don't just qualify for one. So I went through a ton. I got so much stuff on this. If you like this, please comment below that you love it. Like it, subscribe, share. I know I'm probably going to get in trouble. I'm going to get some backlash. People are going to hate me for it, but I'm here to tell the truth, folks. That's what we're here to do. I love you. I appreciate you. Again, I went through rates. I went through shopping. I went through trust, like, respect. I went through personal branding, and I went through ultimately the last range of rates. I talked a lot about mortgages. Again, I might get in trouble for it, but I really don't give a fuck because the truth will set you free, as they say. Have a good night.